All right. Well, hey, everybody. This is Kai Deering, and today is March 10th, 2023. I can't believe we're into March already. This Saturday will be daylight savings time, and on the 20th is its official day of spring. This time has just really flown. But this is another episode of On the Fly with Kai, where I interview incredible entrepreneurs, and they kind of give us some tips, tricks, and hacks for success in being an entrepreneur. And today is no different. In fact, today, I've got a business partner and colleague of mine that I adore. I've worked with him for over 20 years. Steve Hoisington. One of my favorite things about him is he's just an incredible father. He's a total, not a, he's a total survivor. He's done incredible things with his health. He's done all kinds of like biking marathons, if you will. But he's really a down to earth person. I love that he's a millionaire club member with our company, meaning he's earned over $1 million in his tenure. But he's also, are you ready for this? A six-figure digital entrepreneur. And trust me, he works from anywhere. I see him in his, what is that thing called?
The cloud? Or
The little travel trailer. I can't think of the name.
Yeah, the Airstream. There we go.
The Airstream. I see you on the Airstream all the time. And please note that if you have questions, we can actually see your comments on here from all platforms. So go ahead and ask questions. But first of all, Steve, a lot of people that are watching in are either a budding entrepreneur or looking to maybe jump into that arena. What made you jump in the deep end of the pool over 20 years ago and be an entrepreneur?
Yeah, so 20 years ago, number one, I grew up in a military family. I'm the oldest out of 8 kids, 7 boys and 1 girl.
Wow.
And so I was in a family that didn't have a lot of resources growing up. My dad was the only income earner. He retired as a master sergeant. And actually back then I wanted to go into the military, and I was like, man, I'm going to go all out. And then when he retired, I was a senior in high school, and I saw how hard it was to put food on the table. So I kind of switched gears a little bit and said, man, I think I want to go find a different career. So I was going to be an attorney, but boy, as I was getting ready to go to law school and working, I came across so many opportunities or people who would talk. Number one, I'd see the most successful people knew owned a business. That was the one thing I saw. Number two, and I love attorneys. We use attorneys, of course, in our company, but I didn't see a lot on the golf course every day because they're working. They're very busy. And just like, just because they're busy serving their clients. So I was actually approached with several business opportunities. And one of them, I actually listened to a tape where a gentleman was talking about, I know somebody gave me a tape and I'm listening. I'm literally listening to this.
Don't know what that is.
Yeah, an audio. Yeah, I had my little Sony Walkman. Okay. And I was literally in a cemetery working. That was my job at the time. I was going to school. And I was working on the grounds, and I was listening to this tape, and man, this gentleman was talking about his lifestyle. He's talking about the business model. He's talking about how he leveraged himself by building a big team. He talked about basically being a broker, and that opened my eyes. And I remember going to my dad and saying, hey, have you listened to this tape? Because I mean, it seems like there's some other options out there than what I'm doing and what you're doing. And it wasn't the right opportunity for me. It didn't feel right, but I then came across the company I'm in now, and it changed my life. I mean, it's been amazing. So yes, I've been a stay-at-home dad for 20 years. I've been most importantly, a self-employed dad for 20 years, because that's important, because I can call my shots. In fact, somebody the other day came to me and said, hey, I don't know, I got to see if I can get some time off to go to this event that we had last Saturday. And I remember thinking as I got off the phone, I said, man, that is so foreign to me to have to ask somebody for time off. I mean, I'm not disrespecting anyone. It's just to me, 20 years of just, you know, and of course, being an entrepreneur, I still have my responsibilities. I still work hard. I still, you know, I still some things that I can and cannot do, just like any business owner, but very cool. So that's kind of a little background. And then I got involved with the company I'm in, and we have.
How old were you when you decided that, you know, the college and going to get a good job wasn't going to be your ticket to success in your future?
I did finally get my 4-year degree. I was 29 years old. I mean, that's how many times I dropped out, got back in, dropped out, and I swore I was not going to go into debt to go into college. And so I'd go earn a bunch of money, and I'd go to college, and then I'd leave for a year, and I'd work hard, and I'd go back to college. And so during all these times, I'll have all these experiences. So finally got my degree, but during that whole process is a learning curve. And I realized real quickly, by the way, it's the most expensive receipt on my wall. I tell people that all the time. I mean, I see it over there, my bachelor's degree from the University of Washington, but
I don't even know where my degree is. It's in a cupboard somewhere. I'm like, yeah, and I got a couple of them, right? Collecting dust. Now, I know that you've been able to be a work from home father, Maura, your beautiful wife, she actually is a stay-at-home mom. I mean, that is just an incredible lifestyle. So your kids were raised with two people in the household for the most part, which is really different than latchkey kids going to daycare or going to after-school programs. And as a result of that, I mean, your kids have turned out phenomenal. You've got two that's got full ride scholarships, doing the hurdles, and you've got one son who isn't even 21 years of age yet, which is insane to me, that has a seven-figure entrepreneurial income. What do you attribute that to? Because I think sometimes we raise our kids and the people around us differently because we think differently than our parents think.
Well, yeah, I mean, number one, I mean, they were able to see work ethic. They were able to see that we're willing to learn, that we're willing to make mistakes and learn from those mistakes, that we're willing to take chances. I think that's important. I think they also realize that, man, number one, we live in America. I mean, there's so much abundance here. There's so much opportunity. But then also, if you set your mind to something and make it a goal, you can achieve it. If you found somebody else who already achieved that, all you really need to do is copy what they did and just apply it to you, and you can generally have pretty good success. So, my kids, I know I'm going to talk a lot about this tomorrow at our event we're doing with you, the live event and the Zoom event, but I'm going to talk more about that. But I really believe that my kids growing up in this environment of entrepreneur, be willing to take a chance, take a risk, go out there and learn from it, hard work, and personal development. I think that's huge too. I mean, I grew up with personal development, so it wasn't new to me to listen to good audio and read good books and try and learn and how to become better. I believe that you become what's going on up here. You can make what's going on up here. So if you want to make more, become more, right? And my kids knew these things. And so early on, I'd see my kids reading the same books I'd have or listen to the audio programs. I bring them to personal development seminars and learn from some of the great coaches of our time. So for them, they were surrounded in that. And, of course, I've always said, hey, go find what you love to do. Whatever makes you happy, go do. And they're doing that now. I've got a couple girls that got full ride scholarships to two colleges, and they just finished indoor track championships. So they're doing good, as great as freshmen. And my son, yes, he's got a worldwide international business and doing very well.
At 20. Yeah. I mean, I just imagine like your kids listening in their car seat to personal development. And, we didn't really get a hold of that stuff till we were, for me, it was right out of college. I got my first kind of Tony Robbins cassette tape kind of thing. And I was like, oh, wow, this is really great. And I love that. And I know you talked a little bit about our event. So let me go ahead and just share that with everyone. If you like what you hear today, definitely join us tomorrow, March 11th at noon in person in Santa Clara at the Women's Club Adobe. But we've also made it available for online as well on Zoom, because if anyone lives in Northern California, well, I see the sun now. Steve, you're in Washington, so I'm sure you're not used to seeing the sun. It's kind of like a UFO to you. But certainly we've been having really dark, rainy, so we've added an option there as well. Also, you're welcome to communicate with us. We can see your comments. So hi, Marcia. Good to see you, sweetie. But I wanted to also mention that, some people think, oh, you're just so blessed. Like, you've got this beautiful home and you get to travel. I know you're going to, I think you guys are going to England next month, and you just get to live this incredible lifestyle. Like, it must have just been perfect for you, but it wasn't. I mean, you've had a serious health challenge that I literally was blown away. And I know you and I talk a lot, like, especially during COVID and whatnot. I'm like, I just need you to be safe, bro. You've had a serious thing. So talk to them about that and how that didn't slow you down. You're amazing. I'm in awe.
Well, thank you, Kai. I think number one, there's always going to be challenges. I believe that. I believe that there's going to be more challenges in our lives coming up. And it's not just health. Yes, I did have a health scare a couple of years ago. They discovered a tumor in my brain and they had to take it out. I'm obviously doing okay now. I did lose the hearing in my ears, my right ear. So it's a little difficult to hear in big crowded rooms, but
like in convention, when I sit on that side, I'm always like, oh yeah, okay.
So people have to lean over here, or they're whispering, they're giving me a hug and they're listening, they're talking to me over here. I'm like, I don't know what they're saying, but I assume it's good.
It's always good, Steve.
But yeah, no, it was a scare. And I'm getting another MRI next month to make sure it's not growing anymore, because there's still some in there. But it's not just health challenges, man. I'm telling you, it could be just life challenges. It could be financial challenges. It could be, I don't know, your car breaks down. That's a challenge. And so you learn how to work through these challenges. And I've learned that, if it's a financial problem, it's something that can be fixed. Okay. If
Yeah.
it's not a financial problem, then yeah, that's a problem. But if it's a financial problem, it's what we call a situation. And I truly believe that. So with Legal Shield, I know that when I had the tumor, there's two ways to look at any challenge. There's one way to look at it and go, man, I can't do my business. I can't do whatever my goals were because I have to shut down right now to deal with whatever situation I have, whether it be health or something else. I took a different approach. I said, listen, this is a huge challenge. It's a distraction. I don't like it. It's a bummer, but I'm going to use my business as a distraction from this stuff, this junk I'm dealing with my head. And so that because of that, I just kept working hard, and we had a lot of success through the tumor, which led into a lot of success through COVID. So, I'm a big believer that challenges are not a bad thing. You can grow from them and through them. So
I mean,
that's
that's
something to try and teach
incredible.
my kids too. Yeah.
And just so you know, he was the number one recruiter that year. He's been a fast start trainer that was like a trainer number one, all going through incredible. He had brain surgery, for crying out loud. So you're really an inspiration to me. I know that you have a great work ethic, you've got all these things, but if you were to go back in time and give yourself a little bit of advice when you were that kid growing up through the ranks of being an entrepreneur, what would you say to yourself?
Well, number one, I mean, I learned this lesson, within a year, but I wish I learned it early. And that is number one, don't get emotionally involved in other people's decisions, their thought processes. Sometimes what they think or said would weigh on me when I knew what I was doing. I knew I was pointed north, and yet it caused a little distraction or some hesitation. And so I say that because that number one, don't get emotionally involved. When you know something's right and it's right for you, just go, go, go. You're going to get resistance. You're going to get people that don't see it like you see it. That's something. Number two is go for no. I'm telling you, I know that Kaya, you're part of that as well, that book. And I believe that this is in my business, it is a numbers game. In my business, we are looking to reach as many people as we can and share what we do. And, but I also know that some people, there's so many distractions with social media and so many channels out there that people are trying to plug into that, I just know that I have to make sure that I go through enough people and make sure I keep my activity going. So I think that's it. I think work ethic's really important too. I think if you really want something, you're going to go for it. I didn't really have to learn that. I always feel like I've had a good work ethic, but but be willing to give up the things that are fun and exciting. I remember when I first started my business, I had a lot of friends that wanted to go to the movies or go to the basketball game or whatever. And yeah, I loved that stuff before I was a business owner. But when I became a business owner, I said, man, I'm going to go to work because while they're playing, I'm going to go make money. And I can honestly say that a lot of my friends back then, sadly, don't have the lifestyle that we've been very blessed to have. And so that's just a work ethic I think is really important too.
I agree. And I want to acknowledge Delana Berry. Thank you. She says, you guys rock. I want to recognize Susan Carlson, who's saying real truth. And Andy saying the 90% of the rain is over on Thursday and Friday, and Saturday it's supposed to be nice. So you can make excuses or you can make money, but you can't do both. So, and you're living proof of that. So just get your fannies out there and learn more tomorrow in person in Santa Clara at noon. You'll have plenty of time to get over there, or online at springintofinancialfreedom.eventbrite.com. And I'll definitely try to put that in the chat too before we close out. And I wanted to say, like, you're a big reader. I know a voracious reader. I talked to Maura and she was like, oh my gosh, he reads all the time. I can't keep up with him. If you had to name, I know one book probably wouldn't be fair, but if you had to say your favorite book, and if you have to do three, I get it. That would probably be for me too. What would be your favorite book?
I've got a lot. You're right. I mean, I've got a lot. But if I were to take somebody brand new in my industry and brand new really to just life and being a business owner, it would be, and boy, the author is going away from me. It's called The Magic of Believing Big. It's a great book, and it really helps you understand the power of the mind and example after example of how you can use your mind. And I really believe that the biggest thing that'll help you have success is what's going on up here. And so I would just challenge, that's a great book, The Magic of Believing. And then of course, Think and Grow Rich is a great one. You got to think different, I love Jim Rohn. I love all of his stuff. I love Tony Robbins, all of his. So Unlimited Power is a great one by Tony Robbins. So I can go on and on. Yeah, I can keep going.
I know. They always say that leaders are readers, and we're reading this one for International Women's History Month. So, and we discuss it the first Thursday of the month. So if anybody wants to grab the book and join us, hit me up on Facebook. I'll give you the Zoom link. It's at 5:30 the first Thursday of the month. It's just really fun. Got said that she's excited to see you Saturday. Jody, so glad you stumbled on this, us too. And so thank you for that. In closing, just is there anything else that you want to mention to the audience today that they're going to get if they want to learn more, meet you, see more, kind of see what we do and how we do it, and how we're able to have a digital business, not a home-based business, but a phone-based business? Anything you want to share that would, let people understand what they're going to see or hear tomorrow?
Well, it's definitely a phone-based business. It's a home-based business. I mean, it can be anywhere you want business. I'm going to be in London in a couple of weeks. I was in Paris, and I was building my business a couple of years ago, right before COVID. If you know me, I go to Hawaii, I go to Puerto Rico a lot, and that's because in Seattle, it's gray in the winter. And so I'm so glad whoever posted is letting me know that I'm going to see some sun tomorrow. I hope so. But if you're coming out tomorrow, just know that we're going to be teaching some principles of success that will help you build your business. We're also going to discuss the power of the system. We're going to be, if you've never heard of our company, come out, look and see what we do to help people and how we serve our community and how we protect people. But most importantly is really the environment. I believe you're an average of who you associate with. So by coming out and associating with some great entrepreneurs and positive-minded people, and people have good energy and people who want the best in life, this is a great place to come. And I'm excited to fly in. I'm literally flying in, and I'm flying out. And I'm excited to come in and see many friends, but also many new friends, hopefully, that we can share really some principles for life that can help you through 2023.
You are such a rock star. So again, if you want to come out, 11:30 to 12 is open networking. It's at the Women's Club Adobe in Santa Clara. We'll go live on our virtual Zoom at noon. It's springintofinancialfreedom.eventbrite.com. The first 45 minutes or so, we'll share with you kind of the vehicle that Steve and I have used to create financial freedom and wealth and legacy wealth. We can will it to our kids and our heirs and all that good stuff. And then we'll do some training, some recognition, and really just have an incredible afternoon. And then afterwards, we're going to go to Bear Bottle Brewery. So it's going to be a great time. And I just want to say thank you so much, Steve. You're an incredible inspiration, and you're just a really great friend. So thank you for being my friend all these years. Appreciate you.
Thank you. It's been an honor. It's awesome. We've been friends for 20 years as well.
Isn't that awesome? It's just
great.
Insane.
Yes.
Like we work together, but we get to be friends too, which is one of my favorite things about kind of just mixing it all together. With that, thank you so much again, Steve Hoisington, for being here. For everyone else, take care, take charge. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Be blessed. Bye-bye.